Hey, what is up, guys? Welcome into Trainer Talk Tuesday. If you're here in Indiana, well, then you're probably snowed in just as we are today. So we're making this live to you today, right here from the comforts of the house.
Yes, guys. So we want to talk a little bit about virtual personal training today.
Yes.
And if you're someone who's completely against the idea of online training or having a virtual personal trainer, then we want to convince you otherwise. Now, maybe you're on the fence and you're not so much against it, but you're kind of curious if at-home workouts are for you, or if you can even get results working out from home. Then we want to give you guys the top reasons why you should have a virtual personal trainer and why you should give it a try.
Yep, with that being said, let's just jump right into it. Let's give it to them raw today.
Yep, guys, so we're going to go over the top reasons why you should give virtual personal training a try. And number one is probably the most obvious here, which is going to be it provides just a whole new world of convenience. So, like anything, when it's done online, it's going to provide convenience in the fact that you can do it anywhere, anytime, any place. You can squeeze it in on your lunch break. You can work out from home, from the office, at a friend's house. If you're snowed in like we are here in Indianapolis, then you can still make your health and fitness a priority, whereas in the past that hasn't always been the option. I remember training people before we even had Never Settle Fitness, and during the winter we would have so many reschedules. We would be working so much going into the spring because we would have to double up on clients because there was just no way that we were able to have the option that we do now. So it's very convenient for people to really make sure that they're getting their workout in and overall just making their health a priority.
Yes, absolutely. And also another factor in it being convenient is that a lot of us are just pressed for time in 2021 right now. We're all juggling so many things. We have families. We're trying to go to school to further our education. Maybe we got aspirations on starting a business, or maybe you already have a business, and then maybe you even working a job to support that until you get that business where it is. So time comes very, very little for a lot of us these days. So if you could limit the amount of time you have to commute to, let's say, the gym itself, and you can just take that call and hop right on at any point during the day at home, that saves you so much more time to actually do some of those other things that a lot of us say that we just don't have enough time to do already. So trying to better your health, for some people, they feel they don't have time to do it, so they don't do it. But you can take advantage of the at-home workouts, still get just as great of a workout as you would normally get in a gym, and you're still able to better manage and take care of your health. So convenience is a huge factor when it comes to virtual personal training, because it takes away all the amount of time you have to gather things up, leave, and then ultimately come back as well. You can already be right there next to your dinner plate, so as soon as you're done, you can go right to eating and not have to commute or go home and cook the food. You can have everything ready to go, get your personal training session done, and then on to the next thing.
Heck, guys, you could be
wasted.
cooking your food while you're doing your virtual training. No lie, you can have something, simmering on the stove top and, getting prepared for your family. But I really think the convenience thing is huge, especially in the middle of this pandemic, because we always love convenience, right? I mean, we thrive on it, but most of us don't have a choice anymore. A lot of you guys are stuck at home. A lot of you guys work from home now. You're homeschooling your children as you're working from home. You have all these things. So adding something else to your plate that isn't convenient just isn't going to happen these days. And I really don't foresee that changing. I think that this is definitely just the way that the world is going. I think it was heading this way no matter what, to an online world, right? An online presence. We've seen that over the past several years with social media and even larger companies providing that online support. So guys, the world was heading this way anyway. The pandemic just kind of pushed it a little bit quicker.
People are already ordering their groceries as it is, so it was soon to happen. So guys, if you can just make your day, if it can just continue to make your life more convenient, guys, check out the virtual trainer. It's not going to limit you. If anything, you'll be surprised the capabilities that you have come to find once you go down that road. But moving on to number 2 here, and this is something that you all should like, but affordability.
Yes.
Yes, it's going to save you a little bit of something when you don't have to go into a gym that is providing you all this fancy equipment that has an overhead, so they need to make sure that they're able to pay that overhead, so all of those things are going in, so they're going to charge you a bit more in most cases. However, with the virtual trainer, you can save you a bit of money there in your pocket. So not only is it convenient for you to start to take care of your health, but it's also going to save you some money as well to go ahead and go that virtual option. So I know that's something that a lot of people love. I know I like the sound of saving money. So do you like saving money?
Yep, guys, and I think that there's 2 different aspects for this, and both of them save you money. If you're looking at having a one-on-one personal trainer, the idea of virtual training being a little bit more affordable than if you were to go to like a studio or even like those big chain gyms and you had a personal trainer there, is that you're expected to eventually, get some equipment on your own, or, like factoring in that commute, right? That's not there anymore. So the overhead, the thing that Nate just mentioned, like those factors allow the personal trainer, whether they're working in a gym or not, to be able to lower their monthly cost to you, and they can still profit. So there's that aspect. And then you have just like online training in general, when you think of like beach body boot camp and like Jillian Michaels, when you think of like these videos or an online presence that way, you're getting in for, you're looking at $20 or less a month oftentimes with these services. Definitely less than $50 a month depending on what you're doing, or if you're purchasing equipment. Sometimes it might be more at the beginning and then it drops down after that. So guys, there's so many different options for so many different people, and with online training, if you're having that community aspect, there's really no reason why you can't do it. It's budget friendly and it's available for everybody. Some of you may look at me and say, well, I don't have $50 or $30 or whatever it is a month to spare right now. But if you think about how many times you go to Starbucks, or how many times you go to McDonald's, or all these different places that aren't healthy for you to go to, and they're not going to help you reach your goals, and you replace that money that you're spending a month there with one of these options, and yeah, you can afford it very easily. You could. So that's huge, guys.
Yep, guys, saved you something on the cost, but again, you still can find good quality training there at the same time. So don't get in the mindset that since you're not going to be paying the same that you would pay if you were in person, don't get in the idea that, oh, maybe this is going to be less of an experience because I'm not going to be paying as more.
It's just
like
a different business plan, guys.
Different business plan, and it's just factoring in different elements here. But let's go ahead and move down to number 3.
Yep, so number 3 is accessibility. And what we mean by this is that if you want to do virtual personal training, you really just need Wi-Fi and a smartphone. That's it. It's super accessible. I would say the majority of people have that now. Now, if you're older, you may not know how to work your smartphone. That's a different story. But a lot of people today, most people today, I would say, have a smartphone. There's still a few who don't. I think everybody probably has Wi-Fi unless you're living off grid somewhere. So accessibility, guys. It doesn't really get simpler than that.
Yeah, and in our case, from what we've seen since we started this, when the pandemic kicked off, is a lot of people even mirror these sessions and put them up playing through their TV from Bluetoothing and linking the devices together, or however a lot of you guys do it. But you got that option as well, where you can put it on your TV and just make it as big as possible, where it really feels like you are doing something that is, just live, I guess, for the most part. So, or
whether it's live or not,
almost make you feel like you're there. And the only reason I say it is because we're talking about one-on-one training, and we're talking about, like we said, if you wanted to do classes, things that are pre-recorded and so on, you just have access to be able to do those different things. And like we said, all you need from day one, first off, is a smartphone, and you're pretty much ready to go. So once you do that, then everything else pretty much connects itself. You don't pretty much need any more than
If you're
that.
like us and you have unlimited data, then you don't even need Wi-Fi. So
Yep.
there it is.
And most people have that, seeing that a lot of our jobs where most people are traveling, they're always on the go, so you need as much data as possible. And we know that's how these companies, these phone companies are getting us by upping those data charges on our plans, since everyone is using a tremendous amount of data with these smartphones. We have so many apps running, so many different things that you need a lot of gigabytes unless you're just home and you're going to be on your Wi-Fi network. But moving on to number 4 here, this is what I really like about the virtual options is the education aspect of it. The hands-on forces you to have to learn more about your own body limits, meaning that when you don't have a lot of things at play there, like you don't have access to a lot of heavier weights or a spotter, someone to help you with the weights, then you are forced to see how much your body is able to do on its own. And it also allows clients, from what we done experience, I know in myself speaking, our clients are willing to seem to be want to work a lot harder. A lot of the distractions, I would assume, are taken away from other things like, I guess, our kids being around in the gym, or Roxy, or just other people being in the gym at the same time. I feel like that one-on-one interaction, even though it's just over the phone, is more personable for them. They tend to be more in tune to not just what we're doing today, but why are we doing this today? I feel this here, because it forces us to have to be more creative, because if you don't have access to certain things, then we're coming up off the fly and we're just kind of just realigning things to make it work best, but still getting a great workout, still doing all the things you need to do. But it from the client perspective, just from what I have experienced, you guys seem to be more in tune with what's going on, so you're then more learning a lot of that information versus just showing up, going through whatever I show you what to do. Now you guys seem to be more intrigued about what is actually taking place.
Yes, and from what I have noticed, and I can definitely say this from obviously being the professional in on things, when it's virtual, we don't have different tools that we've used in the past. Separate apart from equipment, Nate and I train by touch even, so if someone's doing a row, I could put my fingers on their back and say, pinch my fingers with your shoulder blades. Well, I can't do that anymore. So it really, it challenges us to use just our words to describe the feeling that we want each client to experience when they're doing a certain move. It requires us to be more detailed in our demonstrations and our instructions, so that person that's the client can really get the full experience and do so in a safe manner. So I think both for the trainer and for the client, it's taking that education to a whole nother level. They're having to do things on their own, and I know a lot of people think that I could never get results working at home. Well, I would challenge you and say that you may even possibly get better results because of this reason. Because as Nate was saying, if you don't have a spotter, a personal trainer or a friend to help you, you're going to have to know when your body is doing too much. You're going to have to learn what that feels like. You're going to have to be able to gauge certain weights and know if it's too much or too light. And obviously with the help of a professional, we can help you through that, but it's not the same as, if your muscles give out, we oftentimes could take that weight from you, or we could have you, throw it out to the side, and we could kind of save you from that. No, you got to do that yourself now, and that requires a certain level of stability and strength. And that's something that can only be developed by taking your body to that point. And so when clients are able to do that, they're going to get stronger, which means they're going to get better results. So, huge, guys, big difference. If you're working with a professional, you can still do it at home safely, so you don't need to be worried about that. It's just about knowing your body and your limits, and knowing when it's possible to push past those limits versus, okay, my body's just not ready for this right now.
So guys, we always talk about and preach education and how we want it to be would never settle a learning experience. We're always trying to teach, so we always tell people, hey, ask questions. If I say something or I'm showing you something and you're not too sure about it, don't be afraid to ask, because we want you guys to bottle up as much of that information as you can. And with these virtual sessions now, guys, you're doing it more than ever, and you're learning faster. It's clients that I've been working with who came into the gym prior to the pandemic starting, and once they've been forced to work at home, I noticed that their form is starting to get better on things that I would talk to them about in sessions. That it's because I think they're just worried about telling me about all the things that's going on throughout the day before they come to see me, or just their week and things that's happening in their life. Now they're more so just focused on that session, and every time I would tell them, that's what Marissa say, hey, squeeze your shoulder blades together. I'm not there to put my fingers there, so now they have to squeeze and then explain to me exactly what they're feeling. Because I always say, I just don't want you to see it, but I want you to feel it as well. So that way you know exactly what those muscles feel like when you're engaging them, and then you know exactly what it looks like as well. So now you're able to do that. You're learning a lot more. You're processing that information a lot better. And again, guys, you're just becoming more and more educated on the matter itself. And moving on to our last one here.
Now, guys, so that kind of leads us right into number 5, which virtual personal training gives you a level of independence that you cannot get in the gym or in a studio. And what we mean by that is this really takes you to a point where you don't rely on gyms. Pandemic obviously being a huge example of that, right? I mean, our studio got shut down for almost 3 months. All the gyms around the country were getting shut down. So for people who didn't know or weren't open to at-home workouts, they missed out a lot, and a lot of those people gained the quarantine 15 or more, because yeah, or more, a lot of them more. And maybe that was you. Maybe, you know, you got stuck in that rut where you're like, well, I can't make it to the gym, so they'll open tomorrow. And we know that we all kind of felt like that. Like, this will be over tomorrow. Like, this can't keep going on. But here we are, almost a year later, and it's still happening. And nobody planned for that. Nobody expected that. But that just teaches us that we cannot be dependent on other people or things for our health and fitness. We can't. We cannot depend on anything besides ourselves to be well, to be healthy, to find healing. Because when we do, we know that those options are always, there's always a possibility that those options can be taken away from us. So, independence, we mentioned this in our last video. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. Common household items. You can use these things for your at-home workouts, especially while you're waiting to build your home gym. So guys, that creates a level of independence because you're able to learn, like we just talked about, different items that you use every day that you can incorporate into your fitness routine so that you're left with no excuses. And Nate's really big on this one, so I'll let him tell you about it. But, you know, building up your own home gym and what that looks like.
Right, that was a huge thing for me once the pandemic kicked off. Now, I didn't see the light of it once it first started, but when we started to transition over to the virtual side of things, and we saw that, man, this thing's going to go on a lot longer. For me, it took them shutting down the NBA season last year. When that came to a halt, and I've seen a couple of my buddies on the line talk about it, that's when we really started to know that, man, this thing is going to be here for a long time. I thought it was going to be about 2 weeks initially, and then it just kept going and going and going. And then sooner than later, we're going to be saying 2 years before we know it, because it seems like this thing is still just here, and it's just still, you know, causing a lot of difficulties for a lot of different people. But when it come down to it and we started to transition over to the virtual training, what I noticed is that it was giving our clients not only everything that we already spoke about, they were starting to get more inclined to purchasing their own equipment, picking up bands, picking up small dumbbells. Common household items are just fine as well, but if you're going to be doing this for a long time, the more you get serious about it, and obviously you want to get something that is more suited just for your workouts. And a lot of people have been building up some really nice home gyms. And with this level of independence that you are starting to have, because you're learning more about it, it's super convenient. You're already working at home. Your kids are at home doing e-learning right now in some situations with people. So everything is right there for you. And then also in the long run, let's say this thing happens again, or something of this nature happens again, where your lives is just,
Well, we already have that different, variation of the virus, right? That's
right. But
so
yeah, so
it
let's
could just be that,
so let's just say something else comes in and it brings everything to a screeching halt again. Now you don't have to worry about, can you stay on top of your health and can you continue to get good workouts in. You would already have a home gym built up now. You will have learned how to use that home gym from working with your personal trainer over that time span. So those pieces of equipment that me, the trainer, are inquiring for you to go purchase, the TRX, a few bands, some kettlebells, some dumbbells, a BOSU ball, a stability ball, a jump rope, anything that you may want that you can fit if you are building a big home gym, or you just need a few pieces that you can just pull out and get a good workout in. Now you have a great understanding of all the different things that you can do with a basic set of dumbbells, with a basic resistant band, with a stability ball. There's so many variations and so many different ways that you can do things, that once you gain that understanding and that just idea of it, now you can carry on and keep maintaining this for the rest of your life. You never have to depend on a gym. You never have to depend on a trainer again. You gain that level of independence of better taking care of yourself, and you can do it now for the rest of your life. And I thought that was something, or I feel that's something that is tremendously wonderful for a lot of people, because a lot of us do sit around and we do think that I gotta have this big fancy place, or it has to be here. It can't. No, you can do it right where you are watching this video right now. If you're sitting on a couch like us, if you're sitting up in your office, anywhere, you guys can make it happen. But in particular, when it comes to the at-home stuff, guys, this is an opportunity that you can have to build up your own gym and maintain your health for all those years to come. And to go back to number 2, when it comes to affordability, now you don't have to pay anyone a dime to take care of your health. You already have everything you need as far as the knowledge, and now you got all the equipment there, and you know how to use it.
And I think a lot of people hear Nate being a professional in the industry, and they are like, why would he say that? And I personally know a lot of trainers in the past who would tell you otherwise because they're afraid of losing your money. They're afraid of losing that sale. They want to keep you forever. But the harsh reality is, if we're doing our job, then you shouldn't stay with us forever. And we do have a new and improved virtual training club, so anybody can be a part of that, and you guys can stay as long as you want for the rest of your life if you wish, and we're going to keep adding programs there. It's more self-serve. Again, there's that level of independence with that one. But when it comes down to one-on-one virtual training with us, there's only so many hours in a day, and there's only so many hours that Nate and I are willing to work. And we want to make sure that we have availability for the people who really need it. So, when you get to that point where you become a master in this, right? You've been doing it for a long time and you know what you're doing, then, maybe you just do the virtual training club, or maybe you don't do anything at all because you're so comfortable with what you have at home and your knowledge and education that's been taught by us. And then that opens up the door for somebody who's never worked out before a day in their life to now work with us one-on-one and for us to help them. So, guys, we can't retain clients forever. We don't want to. We want you guys to learn, to be educated, and to go out and teach your children to do the exact same thing, and to just keep on passing on those healthy habits. That's really our goal.
Mm-hmm.
We hope that's your goal for yourself. Because the reality is, guys, there's always going to be someone else. There's always going to be more people than there are trainers probably that need help when it comes to their overall health, fitness, and wellness. There's always going to be that.
And and sometimes too, it's definitely not that we don't want to work with you. If we can keep all of you, we can.
Would, yeah.
But to stay true to our passion, what we got into the industry for, what we always talked about is that we want to help as many people as we possibly can. And sometimes that interaction with you and your trainer can be interrupted because something that may go on in your life personally. Maybe, you know, your husband may lose his job, or you may lose your job, or, you know, something happens with the kids, or anything of any nature. We done worked with a lot of people and they had to go away, and we saw them kind of fall right back into the place that they were at before they came to us. And if they had already gained some of that knowledge and had some things at home that they can continue to revert back to and stay up on that, then that situation could have possibly been avoided on their end, as far as them just not having to give it all up because they think they have to come to the gym, when they could have built up their home gym, learned how to use that home gym, and just kept you know, just kept keeping on, I guess.
Yep.
But just stand on top of your health. That's what I mean when I say everything that I had said in this video today, is that I just want you guys to get in a position where you know exactly what to do. You have everything you need to do what you need to do what you have to do.
And it's a priority.
And it's a priority in your life. Exactly.
Yep, guys. So there you have it. The top 5 reasons why you should give virtual personal training a try. Now, if we've convinced you, if you're like, okay, that makes sense, maybe I will give it a try. If you're interested in one-on-one personal training, virtual personal training, then we would love to extend a complimentary 10 to 15 minute training demonstration. All right, so we can do a full consultation with this. The full consultations typically take about 45 minutes to an hour. 10 to 15 minutes of that, we will actually train you as if you were already a client, and it's completely free, guys. You can take advantage of that. Just go ahead and comment below. Let us know that you want your complimentary consultation, or message us directly. Or maybe you're like, you know what, the one-on-one thing's not for me, but I do need some programs. I want to know what to do, but I don't necessarily want to pay for a one-on-one trainer, or I don't want to be set to a scheduled time, an appointment. Then our virtual training club is for you guys, and in the description we have posted a link. You can click on that to try us out completely risk-free. It's our 7-day trial, so make sure to use the discount code 7-day trial at checkout, and you will be able to get your first week completely free.
Absolutely, guys. So you heard it here first. Everything that you can do to take advantage of our virtual options, the benefits of being able to train virtually, and then the long-lasting effects of that as well.
Yep. So I gotta end it, guys, by asking, go ahead and let us know in the comments, would you consider having a virtual personal trainer or being a part of a virtual training club? I want to hear from you guys. And even if not, let us know that too. If you're like, no way, like I'm sticking to the gym, there's no way I'm going to switch over to online, go ahead and let us know that in the comments as well, and why you feel that way.
And let me add this too. I meant to throw this in there, but also I guess, could I put this with convenience? I don't know where this necessarily falls. Trying to figure out where I should jump in and lay this out at, and I just almost missed it. But for all of you folks out there that's pretty much like Larissa and myself, who avoid people at all costs, you don't have to be surrounded by anyone.
Yes.
You don't have to feel embarrassed. So if you're not doing something right, or you don't feel right, or you feeling goofy about it, there's no one there to see you. So you don't have to worry about that. And I know that is a factor for some people, maybe not a huge thing, but not having anybody around where you don't feel judged has to give you a little bit of comfort as well. So that's another benefit of training virtually.
To be honest with you, even the people who love people, I don't know anybody that has walked into a full busy gym and they're like, yeah, I picked the right time to come. Like, no, you walk in and you're like, man, all these people, you're like, man, I'm never going to be able to use that piece of equipment because there's someone that's going to be there the whole time. Like, you're not going to have to wait for anything anymore. You're not going to have to be surrounded by people and feel judged. Like Nate said, that's an excellent point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was thinking like convenience. Definitely don't go into affordability.
We're
Not
gonna say
accessibility.
We're gonna say convenience.
Yeah, I think convenience is the best one.
But
too.
excellent point, guys. So we're gonna wrap this up. Make sure to let us know in the comments, would you give virtual personal training a try? If not, why? And guys, you can join us every Tuesday at 2 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time for your weekly dose of Trainer Talk Tuesday. We love you guys, and as always, never give up.
Never lose hope. And
Never settle.
Before you know it, our background is going to have like palm trees and beaches and all kinds of stuff. So you just hold on for that one.